So I guess in my testimony, I don't know. I don't think I've ever. I think I've always shied away from this question when people are going around one because I was like, they're gonna judge me. Um, um, I don't. I don't even know where to start. I guess I've always wanted to have an organization that helped people, and I think this is the funny part of it all. I've always wanted to have an organization that helped underprivileged individuals, and I've always wanted to work with like food insecurity and things of that sort. And I remember at one point I was like, oh my gosh, I am incredibly privileged, like no one would ever like relate to me. And then I feel like once I put that out into the system, God was like, all right, bet. And then as soon as I got out of college, it was like boom boom boom, thing after thing after thing, getting into that relationship. And it just wasn't a healthy relationship at all, like
Yeah.
constantly being belittled or um there goes my phone, but being like belittled and just like fighting to be with the person who did not make me feel the best, and um doing the things that we were doing like under the influence, or seeing him like battle with like drugs and addiction, and like being exposed to that
Yeah.
was really difficult. And once I had my son and him being in the NICU for a month and a half, like it was a lot. It was a very 2020 was a very, I know it was like crazy for everybody.
But yeah,
It
it
was the
revealed a
hardest time in
lot.
my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um and so getting out of that situation and having to like humble myself by going home because I really couldn't afford to take care of this baby and myself and all these bills. Um that was hard. And once I did start healing, I made the wrong decision by going to the club. And then I felt like I had to, it was like I started healing and then I took a whole year and not locked myself back a year. So then I had to do it all over again. And when I was dancing and I had all this extra money, like I really wanted to move out my mom's house. So like I had a vision of what am I doing this for, and I was getting it, but it was cheating. In my opinion, it was cheating.
It didn't. Yeah, it didn't
Yeah.
feel. I
And
get it.
so when I decided to like, okay, I'm gonna abruptly quit, I did, but I couldn't afford my rent anymore. So then I had to move back to my mom's house. Then I was only making $17 an hour. And so I couldn't afford anything again. So then I ended up going back to my mom's. I was there for like about 2 years. And I started another job in corporate, and I was completely depressed. Before I had OB, I wanted to be like a travel blogger. I really wanted to travel. And I was okay. I'm so depressed. I didn't want to be alive. It's like I need to go on a trip. I ended up booking a trip but then canceling it. Didn't even go.
That
But
sounds like me. That sounds like me.
yeah. But instead of going out of the country, I took a 21-hour road trip to go visit my sister in South Texas with Obi. And it was actually very impactful. Like it was a road trip, and I think he was 2 at the time. And like, it's just gonna be me and this 2-year-old. We're
Make it
gonna
happen.
drive for 21 hours. And I stayed at my sister's house for a whole month. And then we came back, but I felt like I knew what I was doing at that point. Like I felt like I could actually trust myself again. And I think that's the first time that I really took a bet on myself with traveling with the
Mm.
baby and doing it by a road trip, and like just having like I broke it down to like 8-hour increments, and it would visit different people, stay with them, get back in the car and drive again for another 8 hours. And it brought some confidence in me. And so it's okay. When I got back home, I was like, I really need to take a bet on myself. Like I truly believe that God doesn't put something on your heart to do just to tease you. Like
So true.
we're not gonna do that. And so when I started thinking about everything, like every time I go back, like okay, and reevaluate my life, I always go back to that nonprofit that I wanted to have when I was in college and when I started doing the gardening in college. And so it's like, okay, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna email this man that I met one time who I know has a garden, and let me just shoot my shot. Hey, I would like to have this homeschooling thing if we can. Um, we ended up not doing it, but instead, what I did, me and Obi would go to the garden every week, and we would be out there with him, and he would teach me how to garden again. Like,
Planting your
yeah,
seed.
exactly. So I just started learning more skills, and I started going to different classes. When I first moved back here from Texas, I really didn't know anybody anymore besides people from middle school. So I would just go to different like gardening classes and types of things.
Okay.
So I started doing that again. I met an herbalist, and then I just went up. Hey, do you take mentors? Can you mentor me?
That's the best way. You got to be blunt with it too.
Yeah.
You know.
And so she's the
What you
one.
want.
I would work with her, and she introduced me to this gardener. And I went to the garden. I want to do this homeschool project? We didn't do it at that time, but we started gardening with him every week, and I just started finding myself being myself and not being embarrassed to be it. Um, I went to one lady that I had met. I was on a panel for Women Helping Women, and she came up to me and we just started talking. But she randomly texted me, "Hey, there's this thing at the Eve Center." I'm like, "Okay," and I went, and I don't know what it was, but I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna join." Like, I've never heard of it. I don't know, but I decided to join this random training, and with all those things mixed together, I just felt so at peace, and I felt like I I didn't judge myself anymore, I guess. And it brought me closer to God. And I started just reading my Bible like every day and like making little notes. And oh my gosh, if I would have read this years ago, then maybe I would have made this decision,
I
you
mean,
know?
yeah, but a lot of times, like, we need our own life lessons.
Yeah,
So
we really, I know I do.
yeah, I'm not saying just something like
I definitely learned from my mistakes. I will try almost everything one time, but I will not make the same mistake again and again.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've learned about myself. But yeah, I just started taking a bet on myself, and that, but also like just started having faith in the word. And I don't know, it's weird because now I feel like I have all these opportunities that's been granted to me, and I'm like, oh my God, what? Like, what is happening when you actually plant your seeds and grows? Like, I'm really bad at remembering scriptures, but in Ecclesiastes, there's one, and it's like plant 7 seeds, no, plant 8. Because what you do in the morning might take off, or what you do at night might take off. And I know I'm completely butchering it, but if you know it, then you kind of know what I'm saying.
You're gonna have to send me that one too. So.
Yeah, that's my favorite chapter of the Bible. A lot of people say it's kind of depressing. I don't find it depressing, but I've always been told something. Yeah, I've always been told that the things that I find interesting are depressing, but whatever. Okay. It's not. But it was like, you just like, try your hand at different things. You never know what's going to actually take off. Mm-hmm. And like to work diligently at night and in the morning, because you don't know what's going to happen. And I have a favorite book that I found at a thrift store randomly. It's Catholic. Yeah. So this is like a lot of jumping around. I hope I'm making sense. But it's Catholic, and just pairing that book with the Bible and just putting myself into really uncomfortable situations. Yeah. I see the fruit. Like I feel a lot more at peace. I feel better. I've been broadening my network of people around me, and I've been having plenty of opportunities that I never would have thought that. I mean, even like being here, a lot of opportunities that I never thought would come out of trusting God. And yeah, it's been really beautiful. It's been really beautiful. It's been such a weird circle, like roundabout thing, but
it's God moving in your life.
It really is.
But I'm excited for you because
thank you. I'm excited. I'm grateful.
I can feel it all over you. So I know it's so much coming, or it's already there at your front door, but it's so much coming for you. So it's crazy. And I'm so excited for you. So excited for Obadiah.
Thank you. Yeah. So when I hit up the gardener about the homeschool, and we didn't end up doing it, maybe like 6-7 months later, he was like, "Oh, I have this grant opportunity, and I really still like your homeschool idea. If you want to do that, write out a grant." I've never written a grant before in my life. And then we got it. We won it. And so I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can get paid. I can get funds to actually put on these classes. Like, what a blessing. What a blessing. It's crazy. Yeah.
Look at God.
That's all I can say. It's God. I have no idea. Beauty. Beauty, beauty.
God's light shining on all over you. Okay, so I'm not gonna be too long. Just one more question. So you can look right into the camera for this one, but
Okay.
what are some things that you would say to some younger girls or even just women out there? Just something encouragement.
Encouraging words to girls or women out there. No one knows what they are doing. Literally, no one knows what they're doing. So my best advice is just to do what's on your heart and to have faith. And I truly believe that when you do that and you're true to yourself and you have faith and you're moving in faith, that a path will open up for you. But in order to do that, you cannot worry about the person next to you.
Yeah.
You can't worry about looking crazy. We all look crazy. We're all pretending that we know what we're doing. So I think that would be my advice, is just to have faith and follow your gut.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For our guest, Jordyn Flowe. She's been amazing. For our interview series, I Value versus You'll Be Okay. Thank you.